Call the spaceships to Davenport, prepare for divanarchy, and interface with a couch in space. Welcome to Space Couch. For Roy, #1 in the chat room today. We have a video game developer starting things off, which is great because we're going to get into that shortly. How you been? It's been returning with some consistency here to this flying interstellar divan. Of course, we are powered not only by fuel, but by advertising. Our wonderful sponsor, brand new this week, Tiger Squawk Records. You're going to want to check out, of course, Chaos Tracer Synaptic Breakdown from Ireland, Beta Viruses, I Go to Fight remixes, Casting Curses from Science Fiction. You want to check out the new singles from Sega Lugosi, the Monday and Wednesday version of the Week trilogy. Squawk Jams, our Jock Jams tribute, is out. Raven Industry from Duckbag TM. And, of course, you want to check out the Church of Bryantology, a best of my side projects. Also, Anhedonia from Elias Synesthesia out of Toronto. You want to check out the Godsicles Double Dragon Con, our Dragon Con single, and spare parts from Pale Brigade, all available at Tiger Squawk versus Cop International. Can you believe it? That was the craziest. That was the craziest thing. We're just going to do a little systems check here. You've been pumping out the tunes left and right, says Roy. I have been, sir. I just want to do, I think we might be at a little bit of a, okay, there we go. All right, so. My guest today is somebody with whom I am very excited to speak. Met him when he had me as a guest on his podcast, and I just became fascinated because this guy is just a nonstop font of knowledge and content and wonderfulness. Yeah, you can catch up later, Dan. That's totally fine. So let's just get into it because I'm not even 100% sure where to start, but we'll just pick a random Mega Man boss here on our selection, and we'll start with the old-ass retro gamer. What is up, sir?
What is going on?
Welcome to space. Oh, we have Cathode Ray Tube himself here. All the stars are coming out to learn about the old-ass retro gamer.
I'm flattered.
Yeah, well, let's start with your YouTube channel, man. I mean, I know we were talking about this before the show, but you've been creating content for a while. And tell me about where you're going, what you've been doing with this old-ass retro gamer channel.
I really haven't been making a whole lot of edited content lately, but I've been doing a hell of a lot of live streams. I do like a monthly collection pickup stream. But whole thing's all about video games, and I'm starting to segue into talking about films as well, which is like my other big passion aside from video games. But yeah, I talk about video game pickups. I do collaborations with other YouTubers.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, we've done some fun stuff, but I need to let the audience know, Christopher, my guest today. Chris, you live in an. I was blown away by the museum in which you live. You have curated for the retro gamer aficionado fan like myself. I thought I should pay admission. You've got this lovingly curated movie memorabilia and cartridge gallery. It's really wonderful. So take it from me. I've seen it firsthand. This man knows what he's talking about. In fact, let's do a little bit of a couple smash cuts I just made of a recent pickup video you just posted. Let's check out.
And the one that I was super excited to find is Kevin Flynn, the main character himself in his white outfit that he wears for a little bit of the movie, like toward the beginning or toward the middle, actually, when Sam first finds him. But that's pretty awesome. And it still has that tab to stop the battery from going dead, so it doesn't come in full contact with the connector inside the figure. But none of them actually work anymore. The batteries are long since dead. These figures are 11 years old at this point. I found Wonder Boy in Monsterland while I was there, and it is complete. This one usually goes for a lot of money. It's a side-scrolling action RPG, I think, or maybe it is just a side-scrolling action game. I don't know. I do believe they just came out with like a remaster of this also for like the current consoles. But yeah, I saw this on the shelf and I was like, give it to me. I do believe this is part 2 in the series. So there's Wonder Boy, then there's Wonder Boy in Monsterland, Wonder Boy 3, and then you've got Monsterland 4. I found a copy of Alex Kidd in Miracle World. I think this is the OG Alex Kidd game that came packed in with a lot of the original Master Systems. And this one is also complete. And the cartridge looks brand spanking new, even though the manual looks like somebody wiped their ass with it.
So we have some Sega Master System pickups there, and some Tron acquisitions. Good stuff. How have you found the experience of just sharing your library with the world?
It's pretty positive. I haven't had too many complaints. Like I said, I do like those live stream pickup videos and stuff, and I do it mainly so I can like chat with other people as I'm doing it. And I've made so many friends over doing this kind of thing. Like I've actually met a bunch of people that are in my streams like in person.
Nice. So
like it's been a supremely positive experience. I mean, I wouldn't keep doing it if I wasn't enjoying it. So
cool, man. Cool. Like, I'm just curious, like, what types of interactions do you have with people? Like, they say, like, can you find this game? Or like, I haven't thought about like what a Kid Chameleon in 1,000 years.
Yeah, I have a lot of people saying like, well, I didn't know that game existed, or I've always been curious about that one. What's it all about? Can you give me a rundown or?
Okay.
Ask my opinions on things and stuff like that, but most of the time it's just general chit chat.
Cool.
I'm all for it. I'm all for talking with the community.
Love it. So there's going to be we're going to send out a little bit of homework on this episode because you have so many avenues for content distribution. We'll want to check out just the regular. It's OARG Gamer or something like that. Old Ass Retro Gamer, excuse me, on YouTube. The Old Ass Retro Gamer. So check that out for all sorts of insane, nonstop acquisition stuff you forgot about or didn't know existed, or toys, games, all that great nerdy stuff. Our universes first collided, and I'm not sure how you kind of found me, but I cut my teeth in OARG world on another podcast you have. The movie is starting.
Yeah.
So tell us about this podcast.
I used to do a podcast with an old actor friend of mine where it was actually his idea, where we invite someone over, watch a movie with them, and record like a commentary track to it. Mm-hmm. And since he was like an aspiring comic, he wanted to make it funny, kind of like Mystery Science Theater 3000. Okay. And then that kind of fell through, but I still like doing the commentary track podcast. So I ended up talking to another performer friend of mine, Jeremiah, and he was like totally down for it. He was actually probably our most used guest on the old podcast. So I figured he'd be down. Asked him if he'd be interested in like being the co-host for it. And sure enough, he was just kind of like, yeah, when can we start?
Awesome. Yeah, that was, so this kind of grew out of another podcast.
That
Okay.
one used to be called Van Damme That's Good. That's no longer available anywhere. But yeah, the movie starting kind of grew out of that. And I found you because I think Dan Gunther had said that me and you would get along on Facebook. So he like said you might want to friend this guy. So I did.
Oh, Dan, thanks for making that call. That
Yeah,
was a
and
match made in
because
heaven.
I've known him since he was a kid, like a little kid.
Oh, that's
Like
awesome.
me and his older brother were like best friends in like grade school.
That's amazing.
So he was like, "Yeah, you might like Brian. He's into the same kind of stuff you are." And I was like, "All right, fine." And then like I was looking for people for the first season to be guests, and I was like, "Well, he's always posting about movies and games and stuff like that. I'll just for shits and giggles, I'll see if he's interested." And you're like, "Yeah."
Yeah, and we did Willow,
and I didn't even know you. I didn't even know you personally.
No, we didn't know.
Like,
You could have been an axe murderer over at your house.
Well, that's why I told that day that you came over. I said to Jeremiah, "Please get here early, just in case this guy shows up with a gun."
Right.
So you can be my backup. And he was like, "Yeah, no problem." And then you turned out to be like one of the coolest guys. So.
Yeah, it was so much fun. And we'll plug Jeremiah's comic book. Check out Ashes, issue number 2, out now. Yeah, you can check that out. It's SHH. The movie is starting on Facebook or wherever you find podcasts. You've done so many episodes. You're so dedicated. I'm wearing Hellraiser socks today because we just kicked out a commentary for Hellraiser 3. Now it's an audio podcast. I sync this up to the movie because we're obviously visual here on Space Couch. It cost billions of dollars to ship.
Because you're awesome like that.
Well, like that, and just it's international waters out here in space, so I got no bandwidth caps or anything like that. So this is Hellraiser 3. Yeah, I meant this.
Our pain will be legendary even on the movie is starting.
We apparently do have an eternity to know your flesh because this exposition isn't.
No, we have an eternity to know your backstory.
Yeah, there it is. It took us.
It's not so much pain; it's just weight.
We have an eternity to know your backstory.
Oh God.
Yeah, so that was just I just sort of dropped the needle on that clip because I was finding it, but that whole episode is great. Find that and like a ton more. I'm on a bunch. They've all been great. Loved it. So check out the movie is starting. How has that process been? I'm sure you found stuff, remembered stuff, or met people. I know in my case.
Yeah, I've actually met a whole bunch of new people through that because, like I said with you, I was just like, well, he seems to like this kind of thing. I'll see if he's interested. And a bunch of people in the area that I've never met before that I just know through other people on Facebook. I just send them a message like, I know you don't know me, but...
Oh, people come to you and they want to watch a movie?
Yeah, and now we were also doing it over the internet during COVID, so that kind of made it easier for people that didn't want to like actually come to my house, like a complete stranger's house.
Right.
So, but yeah, we got... It's been awesome.
Cool, man. Should people start at episode 1, or is there any episode that you like?
If you want to learn Jeremiah and my personalities, because that's the first episode is just me and Jeremiah alone watching The Wraith.
Love it.
That was actually like the third take we did because the first time we watched Flash Gordon from 1980, it didn't come out, and then we watched Maximum Overdrive and it sucked. And then we watched The Wraith, and that one was the good one.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, if you want to learn about how Jeremiah and I interact together and all that, and learn about us before you start listening to all the other ones, I'd start with the first episode. But they do get better because the first episode is kind of rough, also.
Okay, well, that's kind of the podcast curve. You're in Chicago, of course. I think the last thing I did before moving to Boston, like before getting onto the plane, was like. Roll in with my luggage on your place and record an episode of Space Couch.
Yeah, we're like, one more before you go, bro.
Yeah. Check out all that. I'm so happy with that content. And it doesn't stop with you. Tell me about the Super Enabler Brothers.
That's the video podcast I do with a friend of mine that I actually met through my YouTube channel. My friend Jason from the channel's called Corpse Flood Gaming. Met him through the Game Grinder, which is a friend I also met through YouTube. They were friends, and then I became friends with Jason through that. And we met at the Midwest Gaming Classic for the first time ever. He lives in Canada. So he came down for the Midwest Game Classic, met him for the first time, and it was like instantly just hit it off, and all of a sudden we're like best friends.
Cool, man. I love that.
We're both into everything, like we're toys, comics, movies, games, everything. So he just kind of said, why don't we just kind of do like a podcast together where we can talk about anything? He's on another podcast called The Game Tenants, where it's strictly video game content they talk about.
Cool.
But he wanted to talk about everything else he's into. The same with me, since I don't talk about all the stuff I'm really into on the YouTube channel, on my YouTube channel. So this is kind of like an all-encompassing Geek Fest type of thing, where we talk about everything, and then every other episode we have a guest on and talk about all kinds of weird topics depending on what's going on at the time.
Where do we get that?
That's over on Jason's channel, so just look for Corpse_Flood Gaming.
Okay, so check out Super Enabler Brothers for all the geek speak that fell between the cracks of recent pickups and the movie is starting. Can be. What does a Super Enabler refer to?
Well, because of us meeting at the video game convention at the Midwest Gaming Classic, the whole thing was I'd be standing there at a table looking at a game I might want to buy, and I'd be like, I don't know, maybe I'll come back tomorrow. Haggle. And then he's like, dude, just fucking buy it.
Yeah.
And I was like, stop being an enabler, and then I would do the exact same thing to him, and it just turned into this big thing. So he'll send me a message, I'm thinking about buying this Transformers toy. I was like, just fucking buy it.
Yeah. I have a Sword of Omens coming in the mail because I got it at Dragon Con.
So, yeah, it's just like we're always telling each other, just treat yourself.
Okay, cool. Oh, I love that.
Calling each other the enabler. Like, we just kept on, like, out before we even started the podcast, we were calling each other the Super Enabler Brothers. And then that just kind of was what the name we ended up going with for the podcast.
Oh, that is such a slice of true geekdom. That's how you know. That's because it's something so sort of within the geek sphere, indelible about being at that con booth going like, do I need this Highlander sword?
Yep.
And will I be angry if I don't get it?
I actually have the Clan MacLeod sword in the
Of course you do. Like, that's, yeah. Awesome. I love it.
Right next to Blade's katana.
Oh, man. Nice. Well,
with the removable blade in the handle. Anyway.
Nice. Well, I'll bring my Sword of Omens next time I'm over and we can do nerd combat. Let's go let's fire up the DeLorean and go back in time a little. Because I'm interested in the superhero origin story of the old ass retro gamer. Like, how did you sort of get started down this pop culture super path? What might have been the first inklings that you would be the human IMDb, and
I've always sort of movies.
Okay, that was it.
Yeah, it's just I go on IMDb, and for some reason, whatever I read in like the trivia section on a specific movie's page, like ends up for some reason getting stuck in my head.
It's just. You just record it because, like, we'll be watching these movies and okay, that guy was in an episode of blah 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 with blah blah, and he played a dentist, and how do you know that
in the background?
Yeah, it's so you just watched because you mentioned in previous episodes of the movie podcast that you just sort of grew up at your local theater, almost.
Yeah, my parents got like a VCR real early on.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say we got our first VCR like in 1980. And my dad like immediately started recording like every freaking movie there was on television off the TV and borrowing our neighbor's VCR and copying. He figured out how to copy a VHS tape before people really figured out how to do that kind of shit. So like I was always being exposed to movies. Like the first movie I remember seeing ever is Star Wars, followed by Star Trek: The Motion Picture. So that's probably why I have a love for science fiction.
Nice.
But yeah, like I've just been exposed to it all. My dad was a huge movie person, so it kind of like rubbed off on me.
Cool. In Hellraiser 3, you'd mentioned that your own film work. I'm curious about that. Is that when we were doing the commentary, I meant to say for the audience, you'd said that the director was influential in your own film work, and I was wondering where I could find that. Is that out on the internet anywhere?
Some of it is like when I was in junior high, my dad bought my brother and I like this Fisher Price camera called the PXL 2000 that ran on high bias audio cassettes.
Wow.
And, we were just making like fan films left and right. We made like Nightmare on Elm Street movies and Friday the 13th and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it was garbage.
But you were a little kid. You didn't go to school for it.
We made a Skate or Die movie for frick's sake.
Get out! Oh, it was awesome.
and it just kind of like I always wanted to make movies, but I didn't know how. So that was kind of like how I learned a little bit. And then my brother went to film school eventually, and my friend Jason, DJ Intel, who has been on the podcast too, he is a cinematographer that worked with my brother, and then I ended up employing him to work on my stuff too. Says that I learned real filmmaking through my brother through osmosis, just by being around him. But like, yeah, I've been making short films since 2002.
Cool, man.
I think like when with money's involved and not just some
wow
dinky fan film. And
are those out on YouTube or anything?
Well, the first thing I did was a trilogy of Star Wars fan films.
Yeah.
And the first one's actually on the Star Wars website. It's on theforce.net. It's not good.
What's it called?
It's called Star Wars Pathways.
Star Wars Pathways. All right, we will definitely not check that out. Huh.
The sequel, the rough cut of the sequel, is actually on my YouTube channel, the LS Retro Gamer. But we never could finish the third one because my lead actress ended up hurting herself at work, and we couldn't finish the final fight scene. But I've done. There's plenty of my short films on my YouTube channel.
Oh, great.
I did like a horror short that I shot. The last major thing I did was in 2008. Went to Michigan and shot like a horror short film called Stalk. And yeah, that was the big major. And then after that was the comedy web series Winter in Construction. And that was probably the last big thing I did. I've basically the only thing I've been doing since then is making like training films for my work.
Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome, man. Well, I want to know a little bit about the back to that museum labyrinthine library. Do you have a most prized or like a top 5 prized cartridges in your collection?
Probably because it's my favorite game of all time. I'm just happy that I have a complete in-box ActRaiser.
Oh, nice.
So that's my favorite game ever. You should know. You talked about it on
we did an
podcast.
episode of a podcast about it. Yeah, it was great. Check that out.
So yeah, I have stuff that is monetarily worth a hell of a lot more than that, but the only one I really care about is ActRaiser.
What's a good one you have that is a monetary example?
Panzer Dragoon Saga for this Sega Saturn.
Nice.
That's probably worth well over $1,200 at this point.
Wow.
And I've had that since 1997 or whenever it first came out. I've had that ever since. It's still my original copy from like back when it first came out.
Cool. Oh, it's like yours. Nice, man.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else that's particularly rare?
Rare?
Or just that we might find interesting?
Probably the Gamester 81 video game that I have.
Wow.
Gamester 81 was another YouTuber. He was one of the YouTubers that like influenced me to get into collecting video games again in 2013 and made me want to do like a YouTube channel about it. He did like an Indiegogo back in 2014, I think, to help fund his channel. And he actually had somebody make ColecoVision games about him.
Wow, that's amazing.
As like a reward. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll give you like $50 or whatever. And I got a copy of his game, and it's signed by him too, so it's kind of cool.
I love how much of an active gamer you are. You play all systems all the time. Do you have a favorite console?
My favorite console is the Super Nintendo.
Cool.
That's because it's the first console I ever bought with like my own money.
Right.
Like, I actually got a job so I could buy it because my parents were like, "You have a Nintendo, you don't need anything else."
Right.
So I'm like, I guess I gotta fend for myself.
Another component of your amazing museum there is the movie memorabilia. I was wondering if you had a piece of movie memorabilia that you was particularly prized.
Yeah, I'm a huge Tron fan. Like my you haven't seen it since last time you were here, but my living room has turned into a Tron shrine.
Okay.
And I have a original one sheet of the original Tron movie signed by Bruce Boxleitner.
Oh wow.
I actually met him at C2E2 back in 2013 or 14.
Nice.
He was there to talk about some project he was interested in, or he was going to start up, and that never actually took off. And I had him sign a bunch of stuff of mine, and he was actually pretty cool.
Cool, man.
I was surprised.
I love it. So speaking of movies, you recently completed a long-running project called your favorite video game is a movie. I forget the title of
Oh,
the
movies that would make great
movies
video
that would
games.
make great video games. Did like 5 chapters of this thing. I just pulled this one randomly. Let's take a look at one of your many entries for movies that would make great video games.
So for my next pick, I decided to go with something like I usually do, something that's light and kind of humorous and goofy and silly and probably impractical, but I don't care. And I decided to go with something old school, something from my youth. It's a movie called Breakin'. That's right, the breakdancing movie from the 80s by Cannon. Breakin' came out in, I think, 84. The NES would have come out the next year. Rarely ever did a movie licensed game come out to coincide with the release of a film. It was always after. So it doesn't seem like much of a stretch that we would get a Breakin' game on the NES pretty long after it came out. So let's figure 86-ish. And what would it be? I think it would be a very early rhythm game. It's all about breakdancing, why not? 8-bit renditions of all the hip-hop songs from that movie. Come on, ain't no stopping us. No stopping. I want to see 8-bit Ice-T on stage rapping while there's an 8-bit breakdance fight going on in front of him. It has to happen. You'd be able to pick between the 3 main characters of the movie, Turbo, Ozone, and Kelly. Each of them has their own style. Turbo's the more acrobatic one, Ozone is the technical breakdancer, and Kelly's more of a traditional dancer because in the movie she was a jazz dancer. And you'd go through all the different environments from the movie, breakdancing against another character, kind of like in Bust a Groove on the PlayStation 1. You'd have someone that you're competing against, and you have to have a better score by the end of the round to win. I think it'd be really fun, especially if you can get those chiptune versions of the songs from the movie in there, and there'd be some cutscenes in between showing the group coming together. At first they kind of don't like each other, and then by the end they're like a family. And how many times in the past have we ever gotten a video game based on a canon film?
All right, enough already.
So now let's...
And we're back. All right. Furry says, I remember watching this video. Thanks for sticking around, man. So that was a long time in the barrel on that. How did you find that whole experience of getting people's movies they'd like to see as video games?
That was probably, that episode, or that was a part 5, was probably the most frustrating one I've ever done.
Why is that?
Yeah, it was, I usually try to get 10 different guests for each of those videos, but because it was the last one, I was like, I'm going to try to get 20.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like
20
the hardest
guests.
thing, 20 guests, and it was
That's
the hardest thing
crazy.
I've ever done because I asked everybody, like all these different people, different content creators from Twitch and YouTube and all that, and even podcast people, and everyone would be like, yeah, sure, no problem, and then just flake.
Mm.
And it took like a year, over a year, to get just 20 people lined up to participate.
Wow.
It was just really frustrating.
So, well, you pulled it off. We can check out that video. It's on YouTube. Any surprises that jump out?
I still say the best selection for a movie to be turned into a game was definitely Bridges of Madison County.
That was mine. Oh, thank you so much.
No, I mean, seriously, dude, when you sent me that video, I was like on the floor.
Well, it was the old ass retro gamer. I wanted to bring something funny, but check out with a hefty video assist from our guest today. What the Bridges of Madison County Blood War, the real-time strategy video game might look like, with some other great entries in there, recreating the backwards time gunfight in Tenet and so forth would be an interesting video game challenge. Brave Little Toaster and the ability challenges. I just thought it was such a fun episode. Check that out. Any new entries you'd like to make here on Space Couch?
Oh, I like we were talking earlier. I'd love to try to figure out a way to turn Trainspotting into a video game.
Yeah, let's like
the heroin usage simulator 2021.
Yeah, you gotta dodge the baby crawling across the ceiling. And
man, it'll be like the Journey Escape game on the 2600. It's like everyone's just rushing towards you, just trying to avoid the baby.
Yes. Very good, because those Atari games could just take the Jedi training scene and make an entire video game out of it.
Yeah.
So you could just spend the entire game dodging Spud's poop sheet, or
heroin needles.
Heroin, yeah, hey, they got to do it. Like, would that be like the power pill in like Pac-Man, where like now you can chase
Oh,
your
I
demons?
don't want to like promote
Okay.
drug use. The movie showed its downside.
Right.
Obviously.
Well, yeah, it would sort of be against the spirit of the film. But yeah, if you get like hit with the heroin needle, like your character sinks into the carpet, you got to like
Yeah.
somehow get
Then
back out.
then you're in like the subcon from Mario 2. You're like in the
Yes.
deepest, darkest depths of addiction.
Yeah. Oh, it's all metaphor. You're like in
Yeah.
the da da
It's
da
all
da da.
about-
Yeah, right. In the subconscious of your mind. Whoa, this got crazy. Speaking
Yeah,
of,
I'd be down.
yeah, all right, good call, good call. That is the type of content you can get not only here on Space Couch Live, but on the Old Ass Retro Gamer channel. So check that out. When we were talking beforehand, you alluded to a new project possibly in the barrel.
Oh, the one where I asked you to make that little intro thing.
Did I fail something? I don't know.
Oh no. Are you talking about the month long of content thing I was talking about doing?
Maybe. I don't know. You just said you had a new project.
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing like an entire month's worth of content, like a video a day.
Wow.
And I'm thinking about doing it in March. So I've been going. I usually have like another content creator do like a little intro for the beginning of every video I do now.
Mm.
And I've been trying to like get 31 different people.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. I did some bumpers for you. Right. Okay.
To introduce each one. I wanted somebody different for each video. But yeah, I don't want to talk about exactly what the topic is yet. But
okay.
Yeah, every single day there's going to be like another 5-minute video.
Because you've got some real, like, there's a community I've sort of stumbled into with this ActRaiser thing you had me be a part of with a group of like-minded retro gamers or podcasters you found.
The Cartridge Club.
The Cartridge Club. Tell us about that.
Yeah. It's a group of gamers who I think they just started like talking together on Skype or something. I don't remember exactly how it started, but it kind of just like turned into this community of gamers, and like every year like this big group of people meet up, usually before COVID, obviously. And they do podcasts together. They do I know a bunch of them have YouTube channels. But the thing that they're most known for is they do like a game of the month on their website, and they say, hey, this is the game that we want, if you're interested to play along with us. They call it Playing Along with Prime. Play along with us, and then at the end of the month, we'll do like a podcast about that game and talk to a bunch of different people about it. And I got to pick the game of the month that you were involved, because I won like a contest. And I picked ActRaiser for us to talk about, and then I got to help pick out the guests.
That was. Thanks so much for having me. I had a great time.
I knew you'd be great for that.
Well, go watch that episode and listen to us babble about ActRaiser. Fairly popular game. You have a series on there. I hadn't seen a new episode in a tick called Diamonds in the Rough, where you bring up cartridges we might not know about. I was wondering if you could give us maybe even an old entry or continue possibly that series here on Space Couch, if you had any games that you could direct us to that any console that we might not know about, hidden gems.
Let me think. Well, I will say I do have another one coming out.
Oh, awesome!
But it's not like about a specific console. It's going to be like licensed game Diamond in the Rough.
That's going to be
everybody
fun.
gives licensed games shit, and I'm the guy that loves the licensed games, even if they are shit. So,
man,
I want to talk about the ones that I think nobody gives any respect to that I enjoy.
You are among friends here. I may be so bold. I will toss out my favorite.
There you go.
Which is the G.I. Joe, the first one Nintendo game, was awesome. You could pick a character, level up your guys, steal Cobra vehicles.
Yeah.
That was some next level shit, and they packed it into a licensed game. My mind was just blown.
Yeah, my brother was the G.I. Joe guy when I was a kid. I was the Transformers guy, but my brother was like begging my parents for that G.I. Joe game, and I ended up playing it more than he did.
Nice, man. Nice.
But yeah, I have both of them for the NES. They're both really fun.
Cool. Did they ever make it? I know there's a Nintendo title for Transformers, but has that ever
That was
been like?
that was for Japan only.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's good that we didn't get it because I used to have it, and it is one of the
It's
worst.
not good. Has that franchise ever been successfully translated into a video game?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
There's one that came out for the PS3 and PS4 and Xbox 360 and Xbox One called Transformers Devastation.
That captured the essence of the.
It is
the
basically
property?
G1 the video game. It is
Cool,
awesome.
cool.
They even got Vince DiCola. He did the music for the video
Oh,
game
wow.
movie, the animated movie in the '80s to come and do music for it.
Kick ass. Well,
It is awesome. It is a beat 'em up, but you can transform and like you can do like as you're transforming, smack somebody in the face with the.
Cool.
It's awesome. There's like so many characters to play as, and it's amazing. I love it.
Well, we'll definitely check out a G1 Transformers game. It's just,
Hell yeah.
it's just nonstop nerd content, man. I can't keep up. This I'm curious about. If you could merch out any video game, like the example I used was like that. You can now get that like a plush version of the Mega Man arm cannon.
Yeah.
Like merch out any video game or property. What would that be?
Something that I would want.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh. Well, since I love the ActRaiser, I would love like the statue of the god that you play as.
Because you
like
are
every side-scrolling level starts off with like your god essence like inhabiting.
Oh, that's a good call.
And I would be like, I would just love to have like, even if it's made out of styrofoam, I don't care. I would just love to have like the god statue.
That's great. Because like obviously just like a figurine of the guy just posing dramatically is kind of an easy putt. There you go. But the actual god statue, because you're supposed to be this divine being, like that would be awesome. All right, sweet. So get on that, video game powers that be.
Top seller, I guarantee it, because I'd buy all of them.
Yeah, I would want. I would pick that up after my wonderful experience. I've been slowly piecing together things that remind me of my time on the movies starting. I 3D printed a Killbot, even though Chopping Mall didn't come out. I'm working on my Shark. I got my Hellraiser socks, and I bought Hellraiser 3 on vinyl. Of course, I have Willow on DVD and all sorts of toys. What's up?
Oh, I said hell yeah. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Well, then have you already designed in your mind or streaming the old ass retro gamer, the video game?
Oh God.
Like, would you just have a giant inventory? Would that be like your power? Or is it like if you defeat another person in your Cartridge Club, do you get their power like it's Mega Man?
I'd inherit their collection.
Yeah, it's like
I'd
Highlander.
actually have it be like a text adventure game.
Oh,
where
amazing.
Where it's about bartering at a convention for freaking video games.
Oh.
Where it's all about like conversation trees and pick the right response.
Yeah, dude. Would it be like those old impossible interplay text games?
Sork to the nth power, man.
Oh yeah, leather goddesses of
Pick that
Phobos.
mailbox.
But yeah, there's like so if tradition, or at least my recollection of it for the audience, it'd be just this boring text game. You're just supposed to know you're supposed to type in backflip over dragon, or just some insane sentence that you would never come up with whole cloth, but you're just supposed to be able to deduce that that's what you type in.
For everything is ActRaiser.
Yes, it's an ActRaiser text adventure, but it's you at a convention, and then maybe like the guy's summoned like to defeat some sort of demonic entity.
Like the job is to acquire Mortal Kombat trilogy on the Sega Saturn.
Right, your divine purpose now is to
bring him down to $100. I'd be down.
They made those old games obscure, so you would call the 900 hint lines. Says
oh God, yeah. Thanks, Sierra.
Did you see it? Did you ever call it?
No, my parents would have murdered me if I did.
Yeah, I figured out how to use the BBS to beat. What's that?
I got tried the Nintendo Hotline once, and I got sent to my room with the phone bill.
Oh yeah. No, my buddy tried the Nintendo Hotline for the whatever Final Fantasy he had on Game Boy, and it worked. Yeah, he got in trouble, but it worked.
Oh, yeah.
We were like, it's like worth it. It's like worth it to get in trouble to figure out how to get this thing open.
I was like, I'm so stuck
Using the
on
mattock.
Solstice.
Yes, on what?
On Solstice.
Solstice. There's a title. Um, so you're working on a project now. What's next for you in sort of any arena?
I've actually been writing a lot of screenplays.
Look at you, kick ass, man.
I actually have been writing one with the intention of selling it.
Oh wow, awesome!
Which means I'm gonna have to join the Writers Guild.
We'll
I'm not
forward to
enthused
that.
about paying dues.
Oh well.
But yeah, I've been writing a lot of screenplays. I'm still doing. I'm obviously still doing YouTube because if it wasn't fun, I wouldn't keep doing it. But it is fun.
Well, yeah.
And I keep meeting more people, so there's incentive
to talk about movies and video games all day.
Oh yeah, great. Why not? But yeah, we're gonna start season 5 of the movie starting.
Season 5, you guys.
Yeah, awesome. That's gonna start in about 2 weeks, I want to say.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, we're still doing the Super Neighbor Brothers podcast. We haven't been able to do it lately because Jason's job's been kind of crazy, but yeah, right. Keep it busy.
Hey, Chris, I'm gonna do something I've never done before.
Okay.
I need to pee, so just stay on the line. Everybody, stay with me. We'll be right back. All right.
Give him a topic.
Yeah. All right. When I'm back, I need to know the next Nintendo game specifically to be made into a Netflix series. Be right back.
Woo! So, Nintendo game to be turned into a Netflix series. What could sustain a television series? Let me consult the collection. I got it. I got it. So while Brian evacuates, I think I'm going to talk about this one. But he's not going to know about it. Naturally, I'd love to see an actor as their TV show, but that won't happen. So, in the chat, what's everybody's favorite video game? Like, of all time? I'm genuinely interested. I'm going to log on to the Facebooks.
Okay, so that was unprofessional, but
Whatever.
necessary.
Backseats are floating. You got to go. You got to go.
You gotta go. So, what would be a good Nintendo game to bring to the Netflix arena? Or Hulu or whatever. What's that? Shadowgate. God damn it, man. That is such a good call. You would just be punching out walls and banshees coming out of coffins.
I can see every episode ending with you dying in some horrific fashion, then the next episode is you starting over.
Oh, my God. Would there be some sort of element of like, is every episode a torch? Like, because the torches are always going out. Yeah. So, like, could be like a 24 thing, like where every episode is just a new torch, or you learning spells. Would you follow you'd follow the guy essentially through?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if I remember correctly, he was trying to go after that wizard that was going to summon a dragon.
Yeah, he summons the behemoth.
Yes. It's been a while since I played it, but I used to play the crap out of this as a kid. I think story-wise, that'd be pretty fun.
When you just remember weird stuff from your childhood, when my buddy Ryan found out you used the hook on the floor tile to open up, there's like a vial in there, like a flute or something. That just, we couldn't get past that. That broke our summer open because me and my 3 friends were trying to.
This is one of those games you absolutely needed a subscription to Nintendo Power to like figure some stuff out.
You 100% did. So, I try to beat it every few years just to remember, keep that pattern down. That's a great call.
That Deja Vu and
Deja Vu, Uninvited. Oh God, Man,
they're all basically like I guess they call it the trilogy because Limited Run Games released a trilogy compilation of Shadowgate,
no,
Deja
really?
Vu, and Uninvited for the PS4.
Well, in series world, the first one, the Shadowgate will be a hit, and then we just move on to, Deja Vu and Uninvited is the.
Well, I have a Shadowgate sequel to for the Nintendo 64, so
Yeah, I played that one. It was really tough.
not that good
It's not that great. It's not that great, but
because it's Nintendo 64.
tell me about that. Like I've heard there's been some backlash against the 64. Is there?
Oh, that I'm not a fan of it?
Well, are you not a fan of it?
Oh, I hate it.
Really? What's up
I
with it?
absolutely hate it. I absolutely despise that controller.
Interesting. Okay.
I hate it. It's just uncomfortable for me. I don't like the button placements. I don't like the thumbstick. I thought it always caused me problems when I would be playing it. I'd be like trying to play GoldenEye and trying to like aim and I can't freaking get it precise the way I needed to. It's just I couldn't do it. I could not stand it. And I usually if the game came out if the same game, like they have the multi-plats, I always would get the PlayStation version because it would obviously play a hell of a lot better.
So Super Nintendo any day of the week over N64 for you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'd probably play my Atari 2600 over it. I'd rather play a little square. Blurry pixel.
I'd like it if I could give you my entry for a Nintendo Netflix show. What do you think of Chrysalis?
Chrysalis Hells, yeah.
Giant sprawling.
As long as that overworld music is used somewhere.
What's that?
As long as the overworld music.
For our audience at home, this is a giant, sprawling, weirdly overlooked Nintendo game. Like it should be a classic in the vein of like Legend of Zelda or something like that. But it was, I don't know, too weird maybe to be really embraced as sort of the title, the banner, the tentpole game that it should have been. I think, but
I think it's fantastic.
Our town full of gas mask wearing rabbits. It's going to be that would be a wonderful wonderful addition.
Who knows? Maybe the Willow TV show that's coming out on Disney.
Oh my God.
Based on the Nintendo game.
How did we not talk about that till now? Man, so excited for that.
The moment I saw the announcement, I was just like, Brian's going shit himself.
I'm gonna shit. Dude, it's not far off. And we'll end on this. What are you playing right now?
Currently, I've been playing Aliens Fireteam Elite on the PS4.
Cool.
Usually not really into the online only games because I like my single players. But a bunch of my friends bought it, and it's like a squad-based co-op shooter, kind of like playing Left 4 Dead but with aliens instead of zombies. And it's a ton of fun. It is like super enjoyable, and it's like playing through the movies. It's fantastic. The company did a great job trying to recreate. Like you even play through Prometheus and Covenant.
Wow,
it's really crazy.
Okay, well we'll.
I love it.
Looking forward to the Diablo 2 remaster, says Roy. That'll be cool. I can ruin my undergrad career all over again. That and Counter-Strike.
With me, it would have been like me ditching college classes to play Mortal Kombat 2 in the arcade.
There you go. Yeah, that.
I don't need that history class.
That movie's coming. The second of the new Mortal Kombats. Is that like a done deal? Do you know?
I think they had designed it as a trilogy.
Okay.
But I know that the actors are signed on for at least three movies.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But since HBO Max bought the rights to like all the Warner Brothers films that were to come out in 2021, the movie already made its budget back because that's exactly how much HBO paid for it. So anything that it made in video sales and box office is just like bonus money.
Okay.
So basically, it might not have made a killing at the box office, but they already made their money back because HBO Max paid for it.
Cool.
So they can definitely do a sequel.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to that. See if we get some tournament action. That'll be cool.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, Johnny Cage. See who they cast.
I'm just not Casper Van Dien from the web series. Freaking Johnny Cage.
Yeah. Oh, that web series, good stuff. All right, so we are going to rein this flying divan back into the station, but we want to check out a number of things. Mostly the old ass retro gamer on YouTube. You want to check out SHH. The movie is starting on Facebook and wherever you get podcasts. Was Super Enabler Brothers also out on YouTube. Look for the giant upcoming project. Oh, and recent pickups. Diamond in the Rough coming back. Anything else you want to leave us thirsty for here on Space Couch? Oh, a licensed game.
I'm going to start
episode.
streaming on Twitch again, most likely.
And he's going to start. Where do we find that?
Twitch.tv/the old ass retro gamer.
Awesome. And
I've been streaming Aliens Fireteam Elite on it just to warm up to it, but I'm actually going to be getting like an overlay and actually going to be not using my PlayStation 4 to do the broadcasting for me. I'm actually going to.
Are you going to be doing any retro gaming, or is it
here
mostly like new stuff?
Yeah. Well, probably older stuff. I want to stream my Saturn stuff.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's Saturn. That just did not take off over here. Huh?
I love my Saturn. I love it so much.
Cool. What's the best title for the Saturn?
My favorite game for it is definitely Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I brought it up before, because that is like one of the very few games that grabbed me so much that I was calling out of work just so I could play it.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. What a great time.
But it has a lot of like hidden or diamonds in the rough. I almost said hidden gems. The reason I called that series Diamond in the Rough is because I hate the term hidden gems that everyone else uses for those types of videos.
Okay. Good to know.
But there's so many good, weird games on the Saturn because everyone was being super experimental back then. So
love it.
There's a lot of cool shit.
Oh, I'll check. Okay, cool, man. We'll check that out. So this is Brian for Space Couch, for Christopher for the Old Ass Retro Gamer, saying, call the spaceships to Davenport, prepare for Devanarchy, interface with a couch in space. Sorry, this is the first episode I had to use a bathroom break on, but, I'm glad you were able to take that journey with. That sounded weird. Thanks for being on my podcast, man. Thanks for being on my show, man. We'll catch you around.
No problem. Thanks for inviting me.
All right, and outro. We'll figure it out. Space problems. I don't know if you can still hear me.
Yeah.
Can you?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Sometimes they can't when we go to credits here. But, dude, that was awesome. I learned so much. Thank you. I'll be looking forward to seeing your license pics.
I already filmed a video of it. But,
I super want to print the God statue from ActRacer now. I may steal that idea.
That would be rad as hell.
Yeah, I'll see if I can 3D print that, or at least fashion something. Can't be that far out. Because it's essentially the character just monochrome.
Okay, now the audio's kind of going weird.
Pardon?
So the audio's kind of going weird.
Well, we'll end on that.
Okay.